It has been 6 months since Wayne married into the Kim family, a girl from a poor background, now the wife of Taehyung, the CEO whose name made business empires dreamer. Their marriage wasn't born of fairy tale love, it was a fork through unexpected circumstances, moment neither of them had planned for it. But in those 6 months, something fragile and beautiful bloomed between them. They never said I love you, but they lived it, breathed it. Wine knew how he liked it, his morning coffee, no sugar, just a touch of cream. They knew how she tucked her hair behind her ear when she was nervous. She always remembered to send him breakfast to his office when he missed it. He always made sure her favorite flowers were on the nightstand fresh every Monday. They never needed to confess it loud. It was in their way stated in his collar, the way he placed a protective hand on her lower back in public, the way she reminded him to eat, the way he pulled her close on cold nights. Tonight, the Kim mansion was quiet, just two of them. After dinner, Tim walked out of his study room, losing his button off his black shirt as he stepped into their shared bedroom. Wayne was the foot of the bed, soothing the sheet and adjusting pillow like she always did, a soft habit she picked up, making space like home. Wayne, his deep voice called out. She looked over her shoulder. I have to leave tomorrow morning for a business trip, he said, brushing his finger through his dark hair. Singapore 4 days. Her hand paused mid-motion. The pillow 4 days? These 6 months, she had never spent even a single night without him. It wasn't fear, the gripping her, it was longing already setting in. A home without him feel quite incomplete. She swallowed and nodded. I will pack your things, she said quietly and started walking toward the closet, but he catch her hand gently, his eyes narrow. What's wrong? Nothing, she whispered, and it was true. It wasn't anything wrong, but it wasn't right either. He looked at her longer. Then, when he noticed her eyes were glittering, he reached out, thumb brushing under her lashes just before a tear escaped. And then he did the only thing he could. He pulled her in his arms, hugging her tightly, chin rested on her head. If you are going to miss me this much, he whispered, you should just come with me. She smiled sadly, resting her hand on his chest. You go, finish your work and come back. I will wait. He leaned back just enough to look into her eyes. Okay, my wife, as you say. Then without warning, he scooped her into his arms. She kept spluttering. Why are you carrying me? I can walk. I know you can, he said softly, his smile playing on his lips. But I wanted to. He laid her gently on the bed, climbing in beside her, pulling the bag over them. He needed much, just her presence, her warmth, the scent of her hair, her soft weight on his collar. Bone, they fall asleep in each other's arms, heart unspoken but connected. Next morning, Wayne woke up early as always. She ironed his favorite navy suit and laid it on the bed, polished his shoes, prepared the fresh white shirt. They carefully packed his luggage, placing everything just where he liked it. On the right side, she slipped his skincare, his charger, and travel-size bottle of the cologne he always forget. Downstairs, the family and the staff were gathering in the living room to send him off. Wayne stood quietly to the side, eyes shining through. She held herself together, the distance, they stared tall and calming in suit, but his eyes kept looking for someone. And when he saw her standing near the wall, small hand claps, trying not to cry, he knew he couldn't just walk away like this. Oh, he suddenly said loudly, I think I forgot my phone in the room. Wine blinked a step forward. Wait, I will go and get it. She turned and walked upstairs, unaware of his soft smile behind her. Just a second later, he followed her. She was searching the nightstand when he entered. It's not here. Maybe it's in the dining room. Let me check again. But his hand catch her before she could leave. He slowly pulled out of his phone from his pocket and held it up. Wine looked confused. You had it? He nodded. Then why did you? Because he said softly, stepping closer, I wanted to hug my wife before leaving, and I know she wouldn't let me do that in front of everyone. Her breath catched. There was something in his eyes she hadn't seen before. Rawness, longing, love, so deep, silence in her. She looked down, biting her lips, trying not to cry again. When he warned, don't cry again, or I will cancel the trip. She wiped her eyes quickly, shaking her head. No, go, just promise you will take care of. Can I hug my wife now? He asked. She nodded, and his arm wrapped around her tightly. He names the scent, vanilla, jasmine, her taste always remind of him home. How he was survived 4 days without this. He pulled back silently. Don't skip your meal. I won't, but you shouldn't either. Remind me like you always do. I will, she said softly. Don't overwork yourself. I won't, he promised. I packed your necessary things in the right side of bag. You will find them easily, she added firstly gently. Of course you did. Her lips parted silently, heart swelling. He leaned closer again, brushing her hair behind her ear. Let's go downstairs, she nodded, turned, but he catch her. Wheezed again, you are saying goodbye like this. Where is my good luck? Oh, right, she laughed nervously, grazing in teeny feet. Good luck fighting his mate. That's how friends wish. White kisses their husband for good luck. Her face turned settled. He detailed his cheek toward her respectfully. I am waiting, blushing. She leaned forward and pressed a soft kiss to his cheeks. Good luck, my husband, she whispered. He smiled, eyes glowing. Now I really don't want to go, he said. She smiled back. Come home soon, I always will. And with one hand asking, he left the room, carrying her kiss with him. The Kim mansion innovates with the silence that night, with taehyung gone for his 4-day business trip. The aunt's warm hall now felt hollow. Wine stood in the kitchen, the silver knife in her hand paused over a tomato, her gaze lost in the quiet. The ticker of the antique clock above the dining table was louder than ever. Without him, the place wasn't home, was her home. She exhaled softly and leaned against the counter. Her hand slowly dropped to her side. She hasn't realized how much she depended on his presence, his footstep in the hall, his sleepy murmur in the morning. The way he tightly tugged at her waist when she passed by him without a glance. It hasn't been like this in the beginning. Now things were very different when they first got married, and just like that, her mind wandered back to the day her entire life changed. Wine was sitting in her small dining table, and she was tapping her finger. Her father hadn't returned from work, and it was already past 10 p.m. Her calls went unanswered. Worry consumed her as she stared at the front door waiting to hear the click of the lock. That night it wasn't her father who came through the door. It was a man in a black suit and behind him a familiar face. She remembered him from childhood. He visited home once a quiet boy who always clung to his father's coat, his gaze calm, unreadable. Now he stood tall, powerful and distant, but his eyes softened the moment they fell on her. Your father is in the hospital, he said, gently pulling out a chair for her. He fainted at the office. The world is dumb, her father. Her only family was sick. A week later, Wine sat outside the ICU, arms wrapped around herself, eyes heavy with the tear. Her father was still unconscious when Taehyung sat beside her again, holding a thrumbs of a warm key. He was always there, offering support, quietly managing the best doctor, the best treatment, the shading from her, the financial burden. She never asked about it. He never boasted. He simply stayed. One day her father finally opened his eyes. The next few days were heavy with the train. In a quiet hospital room, Mr. Min sat with a Taehyung beside him. His eyes were tired, but his body frail, and his hand trembled as he clutched a letter addressed to Wine. I have a say for her future, but it's not enough, Mr. Min whispered, his voice thick with the pain. I raise her alone. She doesn't even know I am dying. I wanted to tell her, but how do you tell your child that you are leaving them forever? Taehyung listened silently. He is chuckling. She is innocent. She doesn't know the world. When I am gone, I want her safe. That's all I want. No money, no luxury, just safety, love. Maybe if she lucky. There was a long pause. I will find her a man, someone who can take care of her, he added determination with the fear, even if I have to give my last breath for it. Tightened strangely at the thought, another man. I will marry her. The word left his mouth before he could stop them. Mr. Min froze, blinking at him in a disbelief. You? She will be safe with me. I can protect her. I own you, Dad, Uncle. But his voice had something else, something deeper. I don't care about status or what the world say if people call her a gold digger. I will make sure no one dare to utter a word against my wife. Mr. Min shook his head slowly. You don't have to. I wanted to. He didn't understand then what the protective instinct was. All he knew was the thought of Wine crying alone, married to someone who was danger, who didn't know the curve of his mouth. Or the way she got quiet when anxious. It didn't sit right with him. The wedding was private, only close family and some trust staff. Their marriage was an arrangement on paper, yes, but there was quite moment in Santi offered her a warm cup when she looked tired. Wine adjusted his tie before he left for work. No declaration, no promise of love, but slowly they began to cost, not as a stranger, but as two people slowly building something real in silence.